Well, you get to do the podcast in the Transit Connect today, Dan.
Well, I love it. Hey,
Yeah.
I've been in and out of radio for 20 years, so I get it.
Yeah. This is just what we've got to do. What we got to do with what we got to work with. Thanks for being flexible.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
I needed to clean up today at some point anyway, so.
You thought, see, I had you fooled. You didn't think you were going to have to make your hair. You didn't think you had to do anything with your hair.
It'll start poofing out as we're going on.
It's never a bad hair day when you're bald, Dan. Just telling you. Hey, thanks for hanging out, brother. Hey, so tell me about revisiting Creedence. How long have you been doing the gig?
I mean, really since COVID. You know, I mean, we were with Doug and Stu from Creedence Clearwater, and Creedence Clearwater Revisited, and they were winding down anyway after, you know, a very long, illustrious career. Then the pandemic came, and Kurt Griffey, the lead guitar player, and I had already had plans for the last few years of the Creedence gig, like, hey, what are you doing when this gig ends, kind of thing. And we talked to Doug and Stu about it, told them what we'd like to do to continue their legacy and the music. And during COVID, you had nothing but time to really put things together, a website, video, promo materials, kind of like on standby, because like, hey, well, whenever the world resumes, we want to get back out and play. So I think, you know, 2021 was when we first started doing a few shows here and there, and now it's starting to get moving. So are there still original members from CCR in this group, or is it now no longer that? Correct. Yeah, it's the latter. So Doug and Stu, you know, we're friends. We're in touch with them constantly. They, you know, support us, and you know, we wanted to really have their blessing, you know, by going out and doing this, and we're grateful for that.
That's awesome, man. I tell you what, not to bring up anything, you know, bad bloodish, but I saw John Fogerty last year, and I could not believe the. Every song sounded like a recording. You know what I mean? Like his voice. Oh, I mean, his voice at his age just sound just as beautiful as it always has, just with that crazy Fogerty thing. It was amazing. You know, I couldn't believe it. I saw him open for Willie Nelson. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And, you know, what's incredible, like you said, to John's, you know, defense, I mean, if you have the opportunity to go see him, go see him. I mean, not only that, he's a phenomenal guitar player. These songs are good if, you know, an 8-year-old is singing them or a 78-year-old is singing them, you know, and, you know, for John to have recorded these songs back in the day when he's in his early to mid 20s and singing ferociously like he does on the records, they still sound amazing today. Yeah. And the songs are so great that they take on a life of their own every night that they're performed, and the crowd's singing along with you. So half the battle's done for you. So you
guys have probably, how long's your set? 90 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, give or take, you know, that the songs are so short that you can cram a lot of them in during that time.
So you guys have a roughly 2 hours of material, and Dan, every song is a hit, right? That's what's crazy.
You know,
every song's amazing.
It really is. And like, there's over a dozen that like absolutely have to be in there, right? I mean, they all can be in there. But I love going, you know, I mean, I love this music so much, and some of the deep cuts, you know, like I love throwing 2 or 3 of those in there because it does add a certain sense of flavor, you know, to the menu. You know, you're like, well, I wasn't expecting to get this tonight, you know, so that they hear every staple, and then they get you know, some other candy, we'll say. Yeah. And it's fun because like you play a song like Bootleg or something and you see a fan jump out of their chair in the 8th row or whatever, and you could just tell, like, man, there's no way I thought I was going to hear that tonight. And like we do it for that, you know, and they're just awesome tunes.
And then you always have Bad Moon Rising. It's always in there.
Yeah, and like in this, it's just that is like the most perfect 2.5, not even 2.5 minute song. I mean, it just jumps. And where we do it in the show, it's like my favorite part of the show because it just starts to kind of ramp up from there, and it's just it's perfect. There's nothing in there that doesn't need to be. And like I always talk to Cosmo about it with the drums, you don't hear a crash cymbal. There's no fills until the very end of the song. Boom. On to the
Simple.
next one. Yeah.
It sounds to me like a lot of those old CCR recordings that Fogerty's plugging directly into an amp with no effects, just plug it into an amp. That's what it sounds like to me.
And those recordings, I know things get remastered and whatever, but like you listen to them on vinyl, you listen to them on Spotify, you listen to them on a CD, whatever. They just always sound awesome. There's something, organic about them that just like, it resonates to me. And you take that energy and the passion and try to reproduce it with that. And, that's the beauty of why I love playing this music is the way that it makes me feel. And then I can be the portal to the audience or whatever.
Well, it's amazing music. It's stuff that we all love. And you mentioned earlier about whether you're, I don't know what you said, 8 or 80, you could sing along to CCR. I'm a performing musician, working musician, been doing it since I was 18. So I've been at this a long time. Even I can get response with CCR. So
anywhere you go, and I've seen bar bands butcher these songs, but
it doesn't matter.
You're still hearing a Creedence song at the bar, and I'm just like, play 6 more of these now, And Kurt Griffey, my partner, the lead guitar player, we were in Creedence Clearwater Revisited together, and Kurt's had an amazing career, thus far, and we work so well together. And he's an absolutely brilliant showman. Where it's like I'm singing, I get the hell out of the way, and he just takes over. And Doug and Stu saw that as well. And we had the singer and guitar player of the show, and believe me, we miss playing with them. But we have the greatest lineup: Matt Scarpelli on bass, just awesome bass player, great singer. Ron Wixel playing drums. I mean, Ron's been all over the world with tons of names. So we take the stage and we just. And the songs it's like an engine. It just kind of drives itself, and it's so much fun. And the beauty about the songs being so short is that on to the next one. I mean, they're just so much fun to play.
And they hit after hit after hit. It's just amazing how many of those are so popular. So Dan, what were you doing before you started doing this?
Waiting tables. No.
We've all had to drop back into that.
I've done that before myself. Yes.
If we're in this industry, we got to have that skill set.
I've done. I mean, I was for several years. I had a Creedence tribute band, but I write my own stuff as well. So does Kurt.
Okay.
I worked in radio and sports broadcasting for 20 years, and anything entertainment, right? Acting, music, radio.
Yeah. So where's home? Where's home for you?
I live in Chicago. Yeah, but I've lived in Arizona and Wyoming as well. But
what do you consider home? Chicago?
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. How long you been in Chicago?
I came back 2 months before the pandemic. So
okay.
Here, hold my beer.
Good time to be there. I love Chicago, man. I love the clubs. It's been a long time since I've been up there, but I'm a big blues and jazz fan as well. And you can just walk in off the street and hear Miles Davis quality jazz being played in Chicago.
Yeah, there aren't as many. There aren't as many of the venues, and that's anything after COVID, right? But I mean,
sure.
Some of the staples are still here, and we have phenomenal jazz and blues talent here. It doesn't it does not get the recognition it needs.
No, unfortunately not. But it is it's a cool city, man. There's all kinds of energy happening in Chicago, so I could see why you want to be based there. That's beautiful. So how long is this leg? You guys out for a little while?
This is just a one-off.
It's a one-off.
We've got some more stuff, stringing together later in the year that we're working on too. So that's exciting. But
gotcha.
we were in Kentucky earlier this year. We played Bowling Green in January. So
let me ask you one more thing before I let you go. What about your solo stuff? Where is that? You got it on streaming services? Can we find it there? What are we looking for?
Oh yeah, everything's on Spotify and Apple, and including for the band revisitingcreedence.com. We have revisiting_Creedence for our Instagram and stuff, so they can follow us on that too.
Okay, all right. Yeah. You don't want to plug your solo stuff, or you're under contract not to?
Another conversation.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. I'm just like I said, I gush emotion with this music, and
that's
today
awesome, man.
I'm just full in Creedence mode. They got the picture. I don't know if you could see the picture behind me of Creedence Clearwater Revisited. So And today, actually today is Cosmo's birthday, April 24th, and Stu Cook's birthday is tomorrow. So,
oh wow,
just keeping the Creedence 5 going for the week. We play Friday in Mount Vernon at the Renfro Valley Entertainment Center. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Dan, thanks so much for your time, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.